Hi, today we're going to go over the plot and summary of the amazing movie Aquaman. Everyone's like, amazing movie, what? It's so campy, it's goofy, it's kind of like Screwball. But you gotta admit, it is a super fun action adventure from DC Comics, and we have so many things to like about it. I mean, the number one reason is Jason Momoa. I mean, he is so charming, and his smile is so infectious, and his laugh is incredible, and all the special effects and the costumes. Let's not forget, Mira is wearing this really cool, like glowing jellyfish dress. And if you like amazing adventures, check out Margaret Merlin's journal, The Battle of the Black Witch. It's a book series where she's a female wizard, and she discovers she's a wizard keeper of secret, and she's a long lost descendant of Merlin, and her father's name Author. So it's really, really good. It's by A.A. Banks at Amazon. So let's continue this amazing story. So everyone's like, okay, Jason's name in Aquaman is Arthur Curry. And, you know, he was born, his father is a lighthouse keeper, and his mother is the Queen of Atlanta. And his mother's played by the amazing Nicole Kidman, and her name is Atlanta. And so she is fleeing from, of course, her betrothed king that she doesn't like, and so you know she didn't really dig him, so she went to the land. So this whole thing is about Atlantean under the sea and the land dwellers. So his mother Atlanta, goes to the land, and she meets Thomas, the very humble, normal, very nice, working middle class lightkeeper. And she, of course, is the most beautiful and powerful queen of Atlantis, Atlanta. And so they have a romantic relationship, and of course, Arthur is their son. And so the king is looking for her. So and uh Arthur, Aquaman, half man, half land man, and half underwater man, right? So his half brother Orm, and it doesn't really recognize anyone that's like a land dweller, because they're all about the sea. And so he grows up, and he's kind of like a misfit, on land, because so and so that's what's going on. And then he's going to meet this princess, Atlantean princess named Mira, and she wants him to find the Trident of Atlantis, which is a magical weapon that belonged, of course, to the first ruler of Atlantean, which is very powerful. It's very powerful, and of course, it's got to be a good person and a true leader, and that would be very helpful. So, Thomas Curry, they meet the lighthouse keeper Thomas Curry, which is played by Tamara Morrison, and that's how they meet. Nicole Kidman is unconscious, washed up the shore, and she's wounded, and so that's when Thomas, Arthur, Aquaman's father, takes her in, and then she tells him her name is Atlanta. Of course, she's the Queen of Atlantis, and so that's when they have the baby. So Thomas and Atlanta, Nicole Kidman, the Queen of Atlanta, and the simple housekeeper guy, have romantic relationships, and their parents to their son Arthur. And then everything's good until the people are looking for his mother. So these commandos come in, burst into the home, they attack, and they want to get Atlanta, Nicole Kidman, the Queen of Atlanta, back to her betrothed, King Orivax. And so she, of course, is going to be really like able to do this Power Ranger things, kick butt, karate, kicks back and fights, and then beats the commandos down, of course, because one person in these movies always is able to do that. It doesn't matter how many people you see in commandos, whatever costumes, they're going to be able to be kicked butt by one person or two people. And so she gets away with Thomas and Arthur. And Atlanta, Nicole Kidman, the Queen of Atlanta, tells her husband or her son's father, Thomas, she's got to return for Atlantis to keep her son safe. And then she says, I will. She vows to return to both of them someday. So it's a romantic moment. She kisses Thomas goodbye, leaps back into the ocean, and leaving Arthur. And before she leaves, she leaves him with a 5-10 sea fork. You know, that's her thing, the trident, the 5-10 sea fork or our dinner fork. And so when he's ready to use it, so he's like, what? What's this? He's just a kid. And then he's kind of picked on in the school and bullied because he's different. And then, of course, there's a sea aquarium, and a shark starts banging on the glass, like, bang, bang, bang. Hey, I know you. You're Aquaman. Or you're Jason Momoa played Aquaman. Doesn't matter. And everyone's like, and it cracks the aquarium glass, and all the kids are suddenly scared. And then, of course, Jason's so cool, Aquaman or Arthur, and his eyes glow yellow, and he can command them. It's like, settle down, sharks, and all you guys in the aquarium, don't eat my schoolmates, even though you should eat my schoolmates for taunting and bullying me. Kind of sounds like now, if you like children's stories, please check out Enchanting Book Readings podcast. We have Charlie, the Dolphin Adventures, because Charlie's best friend is a shark, and they live in the kingdom of Kodora, and there's Princess Kira and her brother, and it's super, super fun and great for kids. So if your kids are wanting to watch something underworld, sea creatures with like dolphins and sharks and princesses and kings, check out Charlie the Dolphin Adventures on Enchanting Book Reading podcast. So let's go. So then little Arthur grows up 20 years later, and there's this whole thing about a Russian submarine. And Jesse Kane, played by Michael Beach, I love that name, Michael Beach. So he's the older guy, a pirate. Oh, we know there's like pirates. And Margaret Merlin's journal and book 2, Margaret Merlin's journal, the mask of the parallel, the Unleashing the Dark One. There's pirates in that, and these little critters. You're gonna love that. So check out book 2 as well. Margaret Merlin's journal, Unleashing the Dark One. So we all love these pirates things. So these pirates led by the dad, Jesse Kane, and his son, David. And so this is really important to remember because, Jason Momoa, stops the sub, and they defeat these people. And this pirate, Jesse Kane, is about to kill Aquaman, Arthur. And then Arthur retaliates from being almost killed, and then ends up piercing Jesse in the chest. So that's not going to rub too well with Jesse Kane's son, David, who's played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Because that's going to, he's got to avenge his father's death. And and then the sub goes underwater, and Jesse gets pinned under the torpedo, and then David, is tries to free his father, but it just doesn't work. And so David he just climbs out of the sub, and then basically Arthur ends up rescuing the Russian crewman, and then David's gonna get away on another sub. Hey, there's 2 subs. Usually there's just 1 sub, right? But it's a movie. You got to have like the escape vehicle. So he gets away on this sub, David. And, keep that in mind. So, because David is the son of the pirate. And then Arthur goes to with his dad, Thomas, and waits on the dock, waiting for his wife and his mom. Like, they go to the dock, just waiting for the day that she'll come back, because that's the thing you do when you're in love. It's romantic, it's movies. And then, of course, they're going to go to the bar, because why not go to a bar? It's cool. And, in Star Wars, they go to the bar and meet all these cool people. And then everyone's like, oh, wow, Aquaman, woo, woo, he's so cool. And then Thomas goes, oh, that was my son. And then he says how, Arthur, you're supposed to unite the surface world and the Kingdom of Atlantis. So basically the land world and the underwater world. And then, of course, you're going to have the group of bikers, because, like, why not have bikers or punk rockers and try to get a fight? And, they just want to take pictures of him, of course, because we live in a social media world. And then, so basically, while all that's going on after the whole pirate Russian submarine thing, down in Atlantis, Arthur's half-brother, Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, so he has a mentor, which is Arthur's mentor, which is Nudius Volko, played by the amazing and fantastic William Dafoe. He's so awesome. And so they are getting prepared to meet with the King Nubrus of Exabel, played by Dolphin Lundgren. My mom loves kick butt movies and karate movies. Dolph Lundgren, oh my God, this is, she's Italian, she's older. This is fun for her. So I'm like, Mom, watch this movie. You're going to love it. And it's got great people, great action, special effects. It's funny. It's campy. You're going to laugh at some spots. You're going to just be like, oh my God, that's so funny. And that's how you watch an action movie with special effects. It's got to be some fun. I mean, it's not supposed to be super serious, especially if it's sci-fi. I mean, it's not a drama. So Orm, which is Arthur's half-brother, remember, Patrick Wilson, played by Patrick Wilson. So Orm, the half-brother of Arthur, who's down in Atlanta, wants to be king and rule everything, wants Nerys to form an alliance with him. And that's King Nerys of Exabel, so that they could, start gaining forces. And also in Margaret Merlin's journal, Dratler is the king, and he has 11 kingdoms, and his son is his young son. He wants him to be the leader, but everyone sees how powerful Margaret Merlin's journal is. So, like, Margaret and Dratler's own son, you're going to have a lot of this stuff joining kingdoms, because she lives in the real world on land, and they live in the magical realm. So very, very, very cool stuff. I thought it was very interesting. So please check out Margaret Merlin's journal, The Battle of the Black Witch, Book 2, Unleashing the Dark One, Book 3, The Mask of the Parallel World, which takes place mainly in Italy, and Book 4, Margaret Merlin's journal, The Quest for the Golden Key, takes place in China. So the second book, Unleashing the Dark One, takes place in Paris. You're going to love it, by A.A. Banks. And so that's when they're under the underworld. You start seeing how Arthur's brother is dealing with his own mentor, and meeting with the kings of other kingdoms to make this alliance. And Orm is using this as an excuse he really wants to attack the surface world, because he believes that they were going to strike the underworld, and people that are that like want to be king and rulers and leaders, you got to like motivate other people to work with them and give them a reason. Oh, they're going to take us over, so we gotta do something about it. And also, Nerys is aware. That's King Nerys, Mara's dad. He knows about Arthur, but Orm is like, oh, I don't know who that is. I don't acknowledge my half brother, because he's half Flynn, half, like a half breed. And also, Charlie, the Dolphin Adventures on Enchanting Book Reading podcast, he's adopted by an octopus family. So that's really cool. So, and people tease him, but that one's like rated for kids. And like Aquaman, very successful movie. Enchanting Book Readings is ranked top 1% globally. So check it out. If you're a kid or adult, you're going to love it. You're going to love it so much. And it hits #1 weekly in countries. So a lot of things in common here. So that Orm just doesn't want to acknowledge his brother, because, put that social media out, put those tweets, make that like public opinion, like not good. Oh, he's half and half, so he can't be good. And he doesn't want anyone to know that his mother lived among surface dwellers. How dare she? We're purebreds. We're pureblood. We're rich. We're kings. We deserve to have it. We can't be tainted with like the lower class or the working class or the land class. And then a blast hits the area, and that's when the submarine comes in for attack. And then Orm and Norris, strike back, and then the sub goes down to the lowest depths of the ocean, and they mess it up, and then they're like, whoa, yeah, see, they are attacking us, so we really gotta join forces. Orm, Patrick Wilson, author's real brother, and so that evening, you go back to the land. Arthur and his dad Thomas are leaving the bar, and then he meets Princess Mira, the girl with the long red hair and the famous green suit, and that she's the daughter of Nereus, the King Nereus of Exabel, played by Dolph Lundgren, who is making the deal with Orm, Arthur's half brother, Patrick Wilson. So remember all this because it all goes together. So it's like, okay, my dad's going to be signing up with and siding with Orm, but maybe I can go after this guy. And, because she basically is warning Arthur. I don't know why she's warning him or why she wants to warn him, but she's going to just warn him that his half brother is planning to wage war on the land surface, and then the people on land and sea won't be in danger, and a big war is brewing. And Arthur, of course, is not interested, and it's like, oh, I'm just not dealing with this. It's not my problem, the reluctant hero. And it's like, well, let me just tell you this, that Volko has found a path to the long-lost Trident of Edland, and that can be used to defeat Orm, and then Arthur can claim his place as the rightful king of Atlantis. But, Arthur's not really interested. He's got a humble dad. He lives on the sea. He goes drinks with his biker buddies. And he's just not interested. And, and also more so because he believes that these underwater people, the Atlanteans, executed his mother, because that's what they made, is the rumor. That's what they put out there. Orm, his half brother, so he thinks his mother, Atlanta, is dead. And he's like, oh, I can handle Orm my own way if he attacks. You know what I mean? And then meanwhile, in the North Sea, Orm is with his meeting with David. Remember David? Remember that? David, whose dad died, in the Russian submarine. So Orm and David do a little deal, and David is motivated by gold coins and revenging the death of his father, blames it on Aquaman. Then suddenly, this huge tidal wave, really, really, really big tidal wave, is heading towards the mainland. And of course, Arthur's with his dad. They're driving home, and then of course it hits their truck, and then they're in this big old tidal wave. And of course, because Arthur is Aquaman, he knows how to swim. He's half man, he's half land, so of course he can swim. His dad's this regular human, land human. And then Mira comes in and helps, and they're able to get Thomas, from under the tidal wave, help him from being drowned, and actually revive him. And now, this tidal wave just devastates the mainland. Things are destroyed and broken. A tidal wave, you've seen them. It just smashes and devastated. And so this really starts changing his mind. And so Mira gets him to, on her mission to stop Orm, his half brother, from doing this. And then they go to this cliff. That's the place where Volko taught Arthur to swim. And he was starts remembering his Atlantean instincts, and just remembers his mother's sea fork. And then of course Mira has this cool watercraft, because that's the side, you have to have cool aircraft, watercraft, flying abilities. You got to be able to do kicks and karate chops and all these cool moves, because it's a science, it's an action film. It's a big DC comic film, so you got to have to be able to all those things. You got to really, so just think, you get paid like how many millions of dollars. You get to go train to be in super fit shape. You get all the editing help, all the makeup help, all the directing help, and working with the best actors, having a good time. Wouldn't it be so much fun to be in a movie and just you get in the best shape ever? You only have to work like a couple months of the year, and you're making big $1 million paydays. Oh God, to have a beautiful body, a charismatic smile, a gorgeous face that the screen loves, kind of just to be part of that would be so fun and so amazing. Like, oh my God, there's only so few people that make it. And like, whether you know someone to get in there or you work your butt off with talent to get in there, somehow you get in there. How much fun. I mean, just all the fun and meeting all those fun people. What a blessing in life to actually be in a set like this. And I did meet some of these people, like one of the producers. He actually, when I was here, I had a birthday party, and this guy gave me a birthday party, and it was down at the marina, all the way down to Hermosa Beach, to Manhattan Beach, and had all like this. He was just some guy that I knew that had a yacht, and one of the producers of this movie from Princeton. We all went there, and he even had like all this alcohol. I wasn't a really big drinker. I didn't even know Courvoisier, the crystal glass bottle, how many thousands of dollars it's worth. And that person said, "Can I have this empty bottle?" Not knowing how expensive it was, and I could have had my rent paid for like probably 3 or 4 months back then. But so yeah, but I was a little shy, had anxiety, and I started the acting game pretty much late, because when you're starting acting in Los Angeles and you're like, if you're over 20, all of these other kids have already been acting in commercials and TV shows since they were little kids. So to come at it, when you're over 25 and you're not like this beautiful, stunning Barbie, but you're just this, cute actor, you got a lot of competition, and some people, just have more relationships and can get in there. So good for them. They made it. And you just got to find your way in, right? So anyhow, back to the story. So, okay. So this big tidal wave is devastating. And then Arthur and Mara goes on her cool watercraft. And then they ride past Atlantis to the sunken ship. Of course, there's got to be a sunken pirate ship. And there they meet Volko. And Volko tells Arthur that the legend of the Atlantis trident, it's real. Of course it's real, because now they're trying to get him to go find this trident, and it belonged to I told you, the founding King Atlantean, who's played by Graham McTavish. And it has a very powerful steel design, which this design will allow someone worthy to rule over Atlantis, exactly like Margaret Mullen's journal. She's picked by Merlin, because she's a long-lost descendant of Merlin, to be the wizard keeper of secrets, and he writes to her in her journal, and everyone's looking for her powers. Her powers within, but he communicates to her in this journal, and the words erase after he gives her instructions. And she's got to keep these powerful secrets and keep, and they want her to be the queen, the new queen, and because Dratler is just a bad guy. And it's an amazing book. I know you're going to love it so much. So they want them to find this steel trident, and it's kind of like Arthur and pulling the sword out of the stone. The rightful ruler with a good heart and a pure heart can take it. It's the same thing. The trident, someone who's pure and worthy is able to rule Atlantis. And if you want a really cool story, if you have kids, you want them to watch something on Enchanting Book Reading Podcast, there is the swinging tree, and the tree gives gold out. It gives gold out, and the kids go there to swing and have fun and enjoy and play, and it will give gold to people with a pure heart. And then this evil Wampus Pompous Rumpus, this evil elf, wants gold from the tree, but the tree refuses to give him gold. So he puts a curse on the tree that no one can see the tree. No one can find the tree. So for 1,000 years goes by, no one can find the tree. And one day a little lost girl finds the tree, and the tree can't believe someone can see it, because he's had no one play on it, no one swing on him for years. And she's able to see him, and he gives her these little rocks to find her way home, to make a path. And basically she ends up with the golden tree, and like she's able to bring the tree back where the kids can play on it. It makes a beautiful park. And that elf gets mad. So okay, so they're talking to Volko, Arthur, Mara, and Volko, and they're talking about how they can like stop the attack from his brother Orm on the land. And so then Arthur goes to meet Orm. Oh gosh. And then Orm is, says, "Hey, your mother is executed for bearing you a child from the surface." The old, shaming and like, "You're a mixed child. You're not worthy. You're half man, half sea. Oh, how could you taint our bloodline?" All that kind of stuff. And then, Orm did exactly what he thought it would do. Arthur feels like he's to blame for his mother being executed and dying, but he doesn't know she's really alive. And then Orm tells him, "Oh yeah, that's why land dwellers do harm, and look at all the things they've done to the ocean with the pollution and the trash, and yada yada yada." And he tells Arthur, "You leave and never to return." But then Arthur is like, "Oh, how about this? I'm gonna challenge you to a duel." And because, as an Atlantean, he's able to challenge a duel. So I like this because this is kind of like, the old-fashioned westerns and Mask of Zorro, challenge people to a duel. And so you're right to, fight for what's right. And so Vocal's like, "No, no, no," tries to say no. And Mara's like, "No, no, no." And of course, Orm, thinking he's so great and can defeat his brother because he's so powerful, he accepts. And then so they're about to do this duel, and Arthur has his mother's sea fork, and then Orm is Mira is actually betrothed to Orm, Arthur's half brother. So she's supposed to, she's promised to Orm to be married, and she has a bracelet saying that she on her that says belonged to Atlanta's mother. And then so that kind of sets a flashback that what's going on? How does she have my mother's bracelet? So and then they go to the Ring of Fire. That's where this duel will commence, kind of like, back in Rome, kind of like the equivalent of, the gladiators fighting in the big old Coliseum. So they have a Ring of Fire, of course. And there's a big crowd of people. Woohoo! Party time. This is like some fun. When two people are fighting. And then, so they're fighting. Orm and Arthur are fighting. And, Orm is dragging down into the lava pit. And then Arthur, escapes. And then, then Orm has his trident to destroy Arthur's fork. And they have all this big thing in the arena. And then, then this is when Mara comes in with her watercraft and they escape. And because Mara will intervene in this, getting Arthur from out of Orm's clutches. And so they're escaping in her watercraft because it's really cool, and you got to have cool watercraft. They're able to just jet away from all the bad guy. And so Orm and all his men are chasing them down, and then their ship is shot, and then they escape again. And then Orm believes that they were killed. And then, of course, they're not dead, and the two are hiding in the mouth of a well. So here you think of Pinocchio, or Pinocchio was in the mouth of the well, remember? And even in the Bible, there was like where, I forget who was in the mouth of the well. So there's a lot of like symbolic and mythology things here at the mouth of the well. Pinocchio, and even in the Bible. And so Arthur tells the whale to take them somewhere safe above the surface, so the whale takes them out. And then Orm finds that, what? No way, Arthur and Mara are still alive. Then he orders his commandos to go find them. But Nereus forces Orm to ensure, we have a deal, you and I. I'm a king, and that's my daughter, and she's betrothed to you, Orm. You better not do anything to my daughter, Mara. So she better come back here safely, but you can do whatever you want to Arthur. So, of course, he's going to tell the commandos to go find Arthur and Mara. And then, so then, of course, Arthur and Mira go on this cool plane, and then they go to the Sahara Desert. And then they jump out, of course, with no parachutes because it's an action movie. It's a Marvel. They're able to do these kind of things, and it's expected, and it's campy, and it's